Well, welcome back everybody to the single-seater playthrough in Motorsport Manager then. And we got some work to do. I keep saying that a lot in this series, but we really do. We need to try and sort things out because we are struggling badly. We've obviously had a great first couple of races, but it's been a big struggle since then. And if we're going to hold on to this second place in the championship that we've targeted, we're going to have to improve and quickly. Now, the big problem we've got really is our headquarters. We're just not able to develop the car quick enough because we haven't built the buildings and not able to improve the parts to a level that's needed. And I always thought it was this sort of catch-22 that I thought we were going to get promoted this season, stupidly as it turns out. I didn't want to overspend on the car, and I'm trying to sort of scale it back, but we really have to, because if we're going to win this championship, then it's going to have to be next season by the looks of it. So we really need to start making some steps this year. But that then makes it very difficult to do anything about the headquarters. So for the next few races, at least we're going to do the best we can to get this car up the grid. And then probably have to make the decision to improve the headquarters next season. Start, building some HQ buildings, and then we might have to stay in this championship for another season after that to actually win it. Or if we do win it next year, we want to continue to improve the HQ, because this isn't good enough. It's not good enough for this division, let alone the WMC. So, we're 70 odd episodes in, we're in for the long haul. So let's do it right and make sure when we get to the WMC we can really make a good go of it. So had I put I've done this with all of my games at the moment. I'm just going to auto manage it. It doesn't seem to affect it too adversely. We've got a great mechanic that can manage it well. I think we've got a good crew overall. I just don't see the need for us to continue to manage this. Because we've hired all the people we need to. Maybe at the end of each season, we go in and upgrade a few people. If we've got the money to. But for the moment, just stick it on auto manage. It's one less thing to worry about. Because we've really got to improve this bastard of a car. It's not been the title challenger we'd hoped it would be. Looks nice, but that's about it. It's not quick. Not quick at all. Right, we've still got some reliability issues about the place. We've got a lot of new parts, but we just need to get them on the car and ready. So hopefully we can do that with those brakes. We're improving the performance of our two suspension items. Our other gearbox, again, isn't quite going to be ready just yet. I might go pretty heavy on the reliability and try and get some of these parts on the car for next time. Because they're a marked improvement anyway, and then we can continue to improve them. But we just need to get them to the point that we feel comfortable putting them on the car. Right, we've got plenty of sponsors coming in, which should help us financially. We've got a lot of sponsors actually empty at the moment. They've all sort of happened at one time. We'll wind it on a few more days just to let some more offers come in, see if they do. New gearbox is finished then. And we might actually have to accept one of those sponsors now to get some money to build another part. But we will increase the reliability of the other gearbox as well. I feel we should prioritise between these. I think we should go for those brakes. Just put everything into getting them improved in time. And then we'll go for the two new gearboxes the race afterwards. In which case, it doesn't have to be 100%. We can probably go 15.5 and increase the performance a little bit as well. Right, race bonus sponsors. Who have we got already? We've got Condor 4 for above. We're going to start struggling with that. And we got two bonus sponsors for first place. I feel we're going to have to take the money up front at this point because we're not going to win. And fourth, we haven't really been achieving either. So I feel this has got to be our bonus. They're all pretty rubbish sponsors, to be fair, so I might just take one of the shorter deals, take the 300,000 up front. 12 or above we should be able to achieve in each race, hopefully. The 900,000 is tempting, but it's 9 races. I want to get this sponsorship over with because we should be getting better offers than this, really. Especially now that the helipad has finished, although Eka is still holding us back, of course. Right, I guess a little bit of money into the bank, and let's keep these parts flowing because we really need to improve this car. Right, brakes is still where we're weak. I feel we should go for brakes again. Epic is still locked though. What level have we got at the moment? Current best part is great. Okay, so that actually wouldn't be an improvement. We've gone as far as we can with that. So let's go for the front and rear wings then and get them up. Front is currently the lowest out of those two. So we'll go for low speed corners, get that built. And just keep getting the levels of this car up. We just haven't developed it enough. Last season we stopped development super early. And then we almost won the championship, which would have been a disaster, to be honest, if that had happened. Right, let's roll on. We've still got 20 odd days till the next race. And this front wing's going to be ready really quickly as well. This is what I mean. We need we need the tier up factory to get all these parts we're making race ready as quickly as possible. At the moment, that's just not happening. Right, I would say we can comfortably put those brakes on the car now. So if we switch that over to one of the new gearboxes, yeah, let's go for the lower reliability. We might even be able to get, you know, if we went full on, get those gearboxes ready as well. But again, I would rather you know what, let's go fully on those, just that single brakes, and let's bring it back to 1010, and then we can get the performance of some parts up as well. Then we're killing two birds with one stone. I don't think we can scramble those gearboxes on in time, so let's just go for the brakes. Right, of course the front wing's finished already. That's a very quick part to build, and we should really rattle through that at the beginning of the season because it's low cost and doesn't take long. Plus 20 to max. Yeah, so we want to go low speed. Shoots really rubbish reliability, but it means that we can improve it later on. Right, again, these front wings will probably have to be the race after the gearbox. They're kind of all stacking up, but if we get the parts built, and then towards the end of the season we can get them ready whilst we sort of back off development, so it'll catch up. Not too worried about that. We got four star sponsor, 700,000 per race. Perfect. Old George Brewing Company, welcome aboard. That's a coup. Right, money's starting to sort itself out now. I say Eka's still that weak link. I think we're going to have to think about drivers towards the end of the season, but that is not to worry about at the moment. New votes, virtual safety car only. Don't agree with that. Safety cars are useful tactically. Don't really care. It's against anyway. Good. You wouldn't get rid of a normal safety car. It's just stupid. Stupid. Right, let's see how the car's getting along. To be fair, it's not many days further. But let's try and get these brakes up to about 70, and then we can start improving the front wing, and then we'll bring the baseline of everything up once we stop developing. 67. Let's keep going. What was that? Frustrated reserve, Caroline Ann Iyer. She's a promising driver. We just need someone that next season that can jump in and do the job, and I don't think she's that. I think she's got the potential to be sort of Eka level, but it would take so long to get there, and I don't think we've got the stuff built to take advantage of that. Right, we will stop building just for now. Will we? Will we though? Yeah, I guess 800,000 per race. We've now got all the sponsors. Mind you, we got the other two running out. It's pretty soon. Let's just dig in, shall we? Let's go for the rear wing. That'll be relatively cheap as well. And get that done. And then we just need to get everything ready to put on the car already. Right, reliability of those two is done, so let's switch that over to the gearbox now. Performance still not maxed out on those parts. I think even if we went to 2020, 13 days before race, it might get it close, you know. Let's see if we can get the gearboxes done. I'd rather put both on than neither. If we just go, yeah, we could get one ready. Let's try and get the good one finished, and we can put it on one of the cars at least. Oh, pit crew are fine, Monroe. Quit your whining, buddy. I'll get back pit crew if you take £100,000 a race pay cut. How about that? Car's still not moving up, but then we got a lot of performance to increase on the parts as well, I guess. Financial management concern, I know. We're desperate to try and improve this car here. Right, rear wing finished. Let's build another rear wing. So let's just knock them out while we can. Yes. And then we can get everything ready. And we can have a bit of a lull whilst we get everything to the max that it can be. Right. Don't think that gearbox is going to have been ready, to be fair. Right, I think we just... Do we just take the money? To be honest, we're making a fair amount per race. I think it's worth a go going for 4 or above. Yeah, I think it's worth... We've been nowhere near, though, the last few races. Let's try it. And say, if we just get that one out of every 4 races, it's... Well, every 3 races, then it's a benefit. Although we haven't got it in the last 3. Right, let's see what we can put on this car, then. So, 2 new brakes are finished. Obviously, Echo, we give the better parts. Gearbox... We did manage to get 1 gearbox done then, so we will give that to Eka. It's one -3%. They're almost happy with the car, almost. And rear wing's definitely not ready either, so I think it's pretty much as you were. We've given the better suspension to Monroe because we've got to be a little bit. We can't hedge all our bets on one driver anyway, can we? Right, that was a pretty long intro for a change. But as always then, I shall get practice underway and be back with you guys shortly for qualifying. Right, this rarely happens. Wasn't recording. So, I'll give you a brief overview. As you can see, Eka is on pole. Qualifying went really well. Eka on pole with her first flying lap. Improved a little bit on her second flying lap. Just 300ths of a second between the top 3. Surikov is right behind us. Monroe, not so good, 4 tenths behind, back in 12th. Actually 13th, but I think he's just made a position up on the grid. Eka, we've got to go aggressive. We're going to go on the soft tyres. It'll probably be a 2-stop race from there, purely because of fuel limited. And we don't have another set of soft tyres. So it'll be a 2-stop race for her, but we need to really take advantage of this pole position. Monroe will put on the mediums, and he should be able to 1-stop. Actually, he can't because of fuel, so it's going to be a 2-stop for Monroe as well. So that's the situation. We really need to make this race count. I did make a brief point, which I'll make now quickly. Surikov, Team Kirov, Surikov is the only one really scoring points. So if we can get both cars into the points regularly, obviously Monroe doesn't look like threatening that at the moment today, then we might be able to make some inroads, but we just need to secure second, and this is a great chance for some points. So, yeah, apologies that you missed qualifying. Got very animated with a pole position, but wasn't even recording. But without further ado then, let's get underway with today's race. That's not a great start from Eka. She does manage to hold second, but she's going to be passed by 2 cars into turn 1, 3 cars. And that's not what we wanted to see. She's normally so good from the front of the field. Hopefully she can make her way back through. She gets a couple of positions there. She's on the outside for the chicane. And she stays in 5th then. Right, we need to dial back on the fuel and the tyres. We're looking at 25 degrees today, so might need a bit of tyre management. We'll see how they get on. Eka already hassling the 2 cars in front, Larson and McLeod, so she seems to have pace. Just had a bad start there, which obviously can happen, but we've got no real tricks and tips to try and get back past. We've got no goodies available to us. We could use overtake for a couple of laps and just see if it's enough to get her past McLeod and Larson. Which team is that, by the way? I think that's Esprit, isn't it? Yeah, Esprit GP. And they are just ahead of us in the championship, so this is crucial that she gets past. Monroe has made up some good early places, and he's the front runner of the harder tyre runners. He's ahead of all the medium and the hard tyre guys at the moment, so has done exactly what he needs to do. Eka does get past them. She's past McLeod. Let's turn that engine back down a little bit. Oh, come on. Just make the move stick. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Let's go get Larson. We'll use overtake again if we get close. But now we can really see her true 1 lap speed. Or her race pace, should I say. And we'll see if she starts to claw back in Larson and Surikov. Larson's actually catching Surikov at the moment. But we'll see again if that holds. So Eka takes 3 tenths out of Larson in those couple of corners. It's always difficult to judge because the gaps change corner to corner, and there are parts of the track we're stronger and they're stronger, that's for certain. But at least she's holding on to 3rd at the moment. But the danger is Esprit are ahead and 2 places behind, and they're one of the main teams we're challenging for 2nd place. Surikov, peerless out in front yet again. Let's back up on the tyres a little bit to try and get a little bit of extra life out of them. I don't mind if we go too hard on them in this first stint, because we're going to have to 2-stop anyway. So 2 sets of mediums are easily going to get to the finish no matter when we stop. So we've tried undercutting in the last few races rather unsuccessfully, but I think it might not be a bad idea this time, especially before anybody stops. But then again, we're so good on our tyres this year that it would kind of be a shame to waste that. But I think we need to. I think we need to try and make something happen here. We didn't get the undercut on Larson then. Let's use overtake and push on this lap then, and we'll come in this time around for some mediums. 25 laps to go. Yeah, let's go 12 and a half, and we can push a little bit then. Actually, no, we're going to need a bit more than that. Yeah, it's still going to be tight even with the fuel. The tyres will be fine. It's just the fuel we'll have to worry about. Keep an eye on the engine and gearbox, but our reliability is pretty good. So let's have a look. Where did Larson came out? Not in traffic, really. That's a shame. It's gone on to the hard tyres again. The AI making the wrong calls, I feel, here. It's a good stop. Where is Larson? There. So she's just behind, 4 seconds down. But on the fresh tyres, we should be able to make an impression here. Let's go to neutral and high. And hopefully she can maybe gain some time on Surikov as well. Right, let's switch back attention to Monroe. We've not really given him much thought so far, but he's plodding about his business quite nicely. Has one set of soft tyres to use. Just got to make the decision as to when the best time to use them is. I feel we can go a few more laps yet. Well, 2 laps to be precise. I think we want to keep pushing with the fuel so we will come in this time around. I think maybe the final stint might be the time to use the softs, so we'll go to mediums again. We'll go 12 laps in. That will leave us around 9 or 10 on the soft tyres. Should be able to make that nicely. And similar to Eka, let's push and overtake on the last little bit of this in lap to try and get him out ahead of traffic. Eka is not really closing down Larson as I'd like. So that pole position might have been a bit hollow. I don't think we've got the race pace to deal with the front two, but we can still be on for a podium here if we're lucky. Monroe's going to get out a few cars behind Eka. Is he going to get out of that string of traffic? He is. Good. We go back to high and neutral then. So Monroe is potentially only a couple of places off the points here if he can show some good pace. Right, Eka has still got McLeod behind her. And these medium tyres really not working how I'd like. She's taken about half a second since the pit stops out of Larson. But it's still not enough. Right, 1 car left to pit, so Eka is in a net 3rd. Monroe may well be in a net 7th, so he's close to some points as well. So things looking up. If we can get a double point score here and a podium, that will be a timely return to form. Right, final car pits then. Stramby's in. Again, I think because they're so fuel limited, I can't see anybody one-stopping this race, even if the tyres will easily make it. So we are in this position, net, and Eka is starting to make an impression now on Larson. She's starting to close that gap. This is what she needs to do. Right, let's go and check in with Mr. Monroe. He's also catching the 2 cars ahead. Of course, got much fresher tyres than the 2 ahead. And he's still got his quickest tyres to come right at the end then. So we can do some damage. We can get some points here today. Monroe needs to make advantage while he's got the tyres to do so though. So again, maybe we'll go overtake a couple of laps. Just see if we can get the move done. We're over half distance now and the engine and gearbox are holding up nicely. So I feel we can afford that for a couple of laps. Eka, meanwhile, as Monroe does get past, that's 1 car, so we'll go back to height. Meanwhile, Eka is right on the back of Larson now. Let's go attack as well and see if we can find a way past. I need to back off on these tyres, but I want to get this move done first, really. If we can. Can she find a way past? Gone round the outside of the hairpin. Beautiful move. Right, now we'll back off the tyres, go back to high fuel mode. And we'll see if she can do anything about Surikov. So on the same tyres as Surikov. But her lap times... Obviously we used overtake mode last time round, but she does appear to be quicker. Fastest car on the track last time round. Monroe is now into the points. There's a definite chance of 4th here, especially in the final stint. There's no need to go too crazy just yet with Monroe. We need to get far enough to be able to use the soft tyres. The tyres are overheating a little bit, and we're going to have to look after those softs on Monroe, but he's right where he needs to be. Let's see if we can just get past McLeod down the main straight. Is it enough? Down the inside he goes. Beautiful move. Engine and gearbox took a little battering from that, but we'll take it up to 4th. That means someone stopped again. Yep, John Stottier is in for a second stop then. Right, Surikov's bolted. Surikov is absolutely bolted. and that's because he's pitting. And Larson pits as well. 12 laps to go. Oh my god, the fuel. Oh, that was close. I have a habit of making mistakes at the moment. Softs might be able to get that. We may as well be safe with the mediums. 11 laps to go. We want to push a bit, so we'll put an extra lap of fuel in. Oh, please tell me she's going to get round. Should do. We're going to lose some time here by having to go to low fuel, and she might lose a little bit of time by running out right at the end. I think she's okay. She's into the pits. Close one. I mean, perfect strategy. Let's see where she comes back out. There goes Surikov. Where is Larson? A long way behind. Well, actually, right behind. Actually, alongside. The lap chart took a little bit to update there. But no need to panic. Eka's got a couple of... right, Munro's going to have to come in this time round. Put on the soft tyres. And then he's going to have to be a little bit careful on these to get them to the end. But hopefully we can do some damage. The car just about holding up. In comes Munro then. Same lap as McLeod. Hopefully the pit crew can do the job and get us back out in front. And they do. Good job, team. And out goes Munro back into the race. Right, we're probably going to have to conserve for the first few laps here. He's actually come out just behind John Stottier, who has made the second stop. Right, Eka is just behind Larson. And we have to really make a decision here as to when we make a move. Let's let the pit stops shake themselves out. And then we can start to go on the attack later in the stint. I think we've got time. Yeah, 2 cars still to pit. So Munro needs to get past John Stottier. That is one thing that is crucial. I don't want to push on these tyres just yet again though, but we really need to take advantage. I wonder how long John Stottier has been on those though. I wonder if he's free stopping. Because if they're half already, he's got to have been out for 5 or 6 laps at least. So whether he's got the fuel tank for it. But let's use the overtake down the straight. Get him past. Make the move done some. Good job. Right, so that's up into 4th. Eka is fighting Larson. Overtake and neutral. We can use the tyres now. And we can use a little bit of excess fuel. The engine and gearbox can take it just. Looks like she lost quite a bit of time there. Trying to make the move and didn't quite get it done. So let's just dial that fuel back until she gets close enough. Munro, we need to keep an eye on those tyres and the gap. But he's already made 1.5 seconds to John Stottier. And there's no immediate danger. Shah might be. Shah and Tyler, but they got 2 cars to get through. Right, overtake mode down the straight. Get it done. Go on. Good luck. Good, good, good. Surikov is insane. It is like one of the true greats. Like if you go modern day, you think Vettel, you think Hamilton. They control the race, but when they need to, they just bolt. And Surikov was within 5 or 6 seconds for the whole first half of the race, and then he just decided to disappear down the road. That guy is insanely talented. We may have to consider signing him for next season because he's a different class. He really is. I do need to double check that Kirov car is the fastest car though, because if it is, that could be partially responsible before we quickly decide to sign someone up. But fuel is good, car is on the limit, so I think we'll conserve now. Munro also struggling with parts, but he's got close company, so he needs to keep pushing. and he can see Larson. And we're good on the tyres now, so I think we can probably push and higher fuel mode and see if we can close that gap in the remaining 2 races. Larson really starting to struggle on those tyres. You know, now Eka's free, and the fact that Surikov has destroyed those tyres, she is actually starting to close that gap back down, but obviously it's far too late. Right, we can only stay on high fuel mode. Really, we can probably use overtake for a little bit. I don't think it's going to be enough anyway, and I'd rather just make sure that car gets over the line. Yeah, it's not going to make it. But it's going to be second place for Eka, a return to the podium at last. Monroe, an incredible 4th place. What a recovery drive. And our car, whether it suited us on this day in time, this day in history, sorry, this day in time, it's not a saying, this day in history, it may just have been our day and our car, but I've got the feeling that this car we're starting to make progress. And that 2nd and 4th repeats the same result we had in race 1 and 2. So that's our positions, and that's where we need to finish race after race. Larson finished 3rd. McLeod did finish in the points as well for Esprit. So it's still going to be a close battle for 2nd. And the other Kirov car, Go Kanjiro, down in 10th then. Gets a bonus fastest lap though. But of course we get the pole position bonus this time as well, which is going to help us out. So that should move us a little way clear. Beautiful 2nd place. We'll take that, add it to the trophy cabinet. Eka and Monroe jump back up to 3rd and 4th in the championship then. Just Larson ahead. Obviously Surikov is there, but I've discounted him completely from our standings. This is our 1st place now, Larson. And it means in the championship we open up a small gap of 6 points to Esprit, but probably more crucially, we open up a nice big gap to 4th and 5th now. And if we can isolate this down to a 2-horse race for 2nd place, then I think even if we finish 3rd, we'll be okay in terms of the chairman. But obviously, if this car is going the way I think it is, we could be back in business for challenging for 2nd and maybe even for race wins by the end of the season. But Surikov is just unbelievable. So dominant. And you have seasons in motorsport where you just have to bow down and admit that someone isn't going to be caught for the season. The car-driver combination is just one of those ultra-dominant ones. Some nice improvements from both drivers. Eka's still improving nicely in certain areas then. And for Monroe, some good boosts for the reserve as well. And a nice little boost of 10% to the chairman as well. And we did get that objective. I'm glad we stuck with it with our guns then, because that's some worthwhile cash into the bank as well. So, car coming along nicely. Still says we've got the 8th quickest, but I've got a feeling once we max out the performance of all the parts we've built, that should rise up a few places. But we're definitely making progress, and that was a result we desperately needed. And that was the halfway point of the season then. So 6 races down, 6 to go. And we're still right where we need to be. And we just need to keep pushing forward now. And it's all about next season. As long as we do our job this season, I'm fairly confident we can have a car. We can not make the same mistake twice, basically. Have a car that can challenge for the championship next year. Right, small apology that I missed out qualifying this time round. I hope that wasn't too much of a loss. Obviously, it was a pole position that you missed, but unfortunately, these things happen. Not very often, thankfully, but they do. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't forget that like button. You can subscribe to the channel if you're new as well, and go back and watch the must be days and days worth of content now on in Motorsport Manager in the various different series. So go back and watch those if you're new. And as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.